Greetings and a warm salutations. I don't know if I could be heard, but if I can, somebody just let me know. Can you hear me? 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 You know what? Cool. Thank you, Brother Antonio. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Greetings, y'all. How's everybody doing this wonderful and fine day? Brother, I got Chief. See your sister Kashia and my precious in the building. Greetings to you all. On this day, this wonderful day, we're probably going to do something that might be redundant for some, but we're going to circle back. And the reason why we're going to circle back is I think it's great that we learn and we grow and we expand, but sometimes so much information here in these archives and so much going on that sometimes we can forget the first couple steps that we had to get to where we are now. Or there's some people who are just coming in, might be listening to this for the first time. Nonetheless, we're just going to circle back and show everybody kind of what we do in this space. So I'm going to ask this question to everybody that is here presently, just real quick. How do you recenter yourself? How do you, probably should figure out how to put that in this comments, but nonetheless, how do you recenter yourself is my question to you all. How do you reground yourself? There's a lot of things that may be going on in one's day-to-day activities, in one's day-to-day world, and sometimes you can get off kilt, off center, take a couple punches. How do you recenter? How do you get back into tune? What are some of the things that you do? Say, okay, I can make it. I can move. I can groove. And I can do all these things that I have in front of me. What is it that you do? Feels like I'm just talking into the abyss. Somebody talk to me. One of the things that one may like to do is use an affirmation, right? And affirmations are a wonderful way to recenter yourself, to regather yourself. When one is struggling, one may not have the mind at the present time to see what are the things that are in front of me. So, good looking out, Brother Antonio. All right, so I'll wait for a little bit to give everybody a chance to. But while I'm giving you a chance, I'm going to read something out of our new newsletter, because I think this was important. This kind of helped me to kind of jog my memory on where we should be at today, maybe, at least what I think. It says, we have been given all the tools to reap a bountiful harvest, but we must perform the required work. This includes sharing the vision of our faithfulness to our culture indicates that we are infilled with the knowledge, and our knowledge must be put into action. Remember, if we cannot teach it, we have not fully grasped it. As you move through the strong, do you share the works of our new? If not, what is the deterrent? Now, here's the thing. When I saw that, it's like, if you cannot teach it, you do not know it. And how often have we seen a video that maybe Chief has done, or read the book, or just seen some, yeah, I got that. I already know that. Do you really know that? Like, can you teach it? Can you get up and say, okay, this is what need to be learned in this book? Can you do it? Or I've studied this podcast, I've studied this show the Chief has done and presented on this lecture. Here's what's in it. Do you have that, or is it just consuming information? Consuming information. And this is really why we're going to do a little circle back, because it's like, what do we do? So I see some of the things up here is one way. I see Emma Precious is grounded on the Sabbath. There you go. Affirmations and meditation from Baba MGC, Mama Sequoia from the House of Bell, music, going for a walk, laughing. Got Sister Kashia, reconnecting with nature, playing musical instruments, art, meditation, and taking time to take needed rest. All right, I got what is this? I walk, I take recreational break, and watch comedy movies and battle rap. I like battle rap. Sometimes they be going too far. Like, I know you lying, man. No, you lying. Also go to the river or sit by my big tree. If I have time, I go into nature. There we go. All right. So one of the things that you've kind of heard me say at the beginning was just about affirmations, and affirmations are a great way for one to recenter, to retool, open up different streams of cognition if one is stuck. If somebody just doesn't know where to start, like, I don't know where I should begin, one great way to begin is with an affirmation, right? But here's the thing about affirmations. If you are not careful, and if you are not building your affirmation properly, then what can happen is you can call things into your life that you are not ready for. And ultimately what can happen is you're going to put more on your back than it's willing to carry. That is going to be a problem. And the question becomes, how do you build a proper affirmation? Well, again, circling back, going to a show that Chief did on positive affirmations. We're going to take it from the top. Or this is how now I would look at it, is starting from knowledge, right? Which there's branches from knowledge that you would get. Knowledge is connected to a thought, which is ultimately going to be next is the vision. And then you put a bow tie on that with faith. Okay, that's the knowledge piece. And you have another tree, the branch from the tree, at least, and it's going to be wisdom. And connected to wisdom is the feeling. And then going to the last branch, which is be understanding, or the manifestation, or the affirmation. But we're going to walk you through it. Let's take it from the top. Now, we're going to start with knowledge, which ultimately begins with the thought. Now, it becomes difficult sometimes for some people to kind of gather their thoughts because it's just all over the place. And sometimes that just stems from work of, going back and forth with so-and-so with these passive aggressive and condescending emails, and all of your attention is just given to, oh, I should have said this. And, I could have came at him like that. And I can't believe so-and-so said that. What are you giving your attention to? I have a family member who is a firefighter, and one of the things that they like to say is, people like to rubberneck, always, if there's an accident or something going on the side of the road, rubbernecking goes on. I need to see what is going on. Instead of focusing on where I should be going, I'm going to keep looking over to the left. I'm going to look over to the right. And then what happens with traffic? Traffic begins to get jammed up. It begins to back up. Thoughts are no different. Like, every time that you give a thought, it's something that wants to be more manifested. Now, what is it going to do? It's going to fight for attention. It's in there. Now, how do I get out of here? But as long as you keep giving your attention to things that are just going to keep dragging you down, well, then it's just going to keep you grounded. So what are you giving your attention to? What are you rubbernecking, looking over your shoulder, or in altercations, or maybe even back and forth that you shouldn't be in, that ultimately now you're giving your mental power to, right? That's a issue. And then by the time you get home, you've given all your time and energy to somebody else. Then you sit down and I don't even want to think about it. I'm just drained. I'm burnt. I'm spent. I'm cooked. And another day goes by where you say, oh, you know what? I'm going to get my life together. I'm going to get my stuff together tomorrow. Now, on the flip side of that, some people just have all of these thoughts and all of these ideas. They don't know how to get them out. All right. It's like when I sit down to try to think, or if I sit down and I try to put some stuff on my paper, all of a sudden, all of these ideas just start rushing into the front of my head. And it's just like, I don't know what to do. And thoughts are things and they want to get out. And it's kind of like I took my niece and my nephew to feed the ducks one day, right? And I don't know if you guys have ever seen geese, but geese, they're aggressive, right? They bogart. So we're feeding them, boom, I got my nephew out there. He out there just throwing bread and all of this kind of stuff. And they start getting closer. And all of a sudden, he starts backing up, and I start laughing. My sister starts getting a little, I don't know, like. And then they start grabbing it out of his hand. He starts running, and I had to say, hey. We ain't doing that. Nah, we ain't doing that, right? You got to get in line. But everybody's going to eat. And sometimes you got to talk to yourself in a way where you, hey, now, I'm going to get you out of here. But you got to get in line. If everybody's just screaming to get out first, then nobody's going to get hurt. Now, some of the things that one could do to reground and recenter which technically they would call it dysregulated. There's something that you can remember as well it's called TIP, right? TIP. And one of them is temperature, which is ultimately just putting your face in some cold water. Ice water for 30 seconds, you hold your breath, kind of just brings the temperature down on your face to get you just regrounded and balance your chemistry out. Look, right? This is in a DBT book. The next one is intense exercise, which some people have already put in here. They go for walks, they go out, they do all of these different things. Again, just to recenter, reground, and refocus. And it doesn't have to be long. You could just be a quick, short burst or whatever the case may be. But you can just get in. And then the other one is paired muscle relaxation, or PACE, right? PACE. Just controlling your breathing. Slowing it down. Recentering. So it's not, now I can actually see what it is that I'm going to be affirming, right? And then once you recenter and reground yourself, then you can say, all right, I think I got it. I am going to be the greatest basketball player that ever lived, right? Okay, cool. Well, then now that's going to take you to your next step, which is going to be the vision. Now your vision is going to tell you, you have to start seeing things. You see, as a basketball player, I have to now see myself shooting shots. I have to see myself on the court. I have to see myself playing defense, right? I got to see myself being an all-around player. I have to see myself in pressure situations. I got to see 5 seconds on the clock. We're down by 1, and my coach calls a timeout and calls us over to the huddle. I got to see that. I got to see him pull out that dry erase board with his marker, write down a play on here, telling me to come brush off of the screen, seeing a diversion to the other corner, has a man sits out here on the 3 saying, Zach, look for him, because if he comes a double, give him the ball in the corner. But ultimately, I want you to come off this screen and shoot the shot and go win the game. I got to see that. I got to stand up to put my hand in the huddle to break it, while the trainer hands me a towel to wipe the sweat off my brow. As I flick it back on the floor, and then I take the floor, and I see all of the light shining off of it, and I look up to see where the defense is. Is it a 2-3 or is it man-to-man? Because we got to see what it is as my coach just drew it up. I got to see that. I got to see my teammate take the ball out. As the ref has the ball in his left hand, and his right hand is get put up to put in play, as he hands the ball to my teammate, And he starts counting down 5, 2, 3. I got to see that. I got to see my teammate use a screen, and then the defender start to try to rock me off of my spot. So I lean into him with my right shoulder, but then I bounce out to the left to get free, to get the ball as he throws it inbounds to me. I catch it with my left hand, and I start to move up the right side of the floor. I see the defense start to rotate just a little bit, but they're in man-to-man, just like my coach drew it up. And then I use the screen, and I brush right off of it, going from my right to my left, getting to my sweet spot. I see the defender doesn't come to help, and he stays on the defender in the corner. So I'm going to go win the game. You see, I got to see that. I finally plant my feet. Left foot right to the basket, right foot next to it. Ball is securely in the middle of my palm of my hand while my fingers are spread, and I start to rise. And as I begin to rise, I see people starting to look like ants. It just looks like me in the basket as I start to let the ball go, and I see the ball rotating towards the basket. Basket getting bigger as the ball starts to move. Basket getting bigger as the ball starts to move. Basket getting bigger as the ball starts to move. I got to see that. You have to go through the visualization and seeing all of these things. I got to see the crowd erupt, and I got to see my teammates start going, jumping up and down. You got to go through all of the visualization of what it's going to look like. And then what you're going to do, you're going to put a bow tie on it with faith. Now, we're still in the knowledge piece, right? But faith is a key piece. You got to know. And I'm going to read to you something again from a new newsletter, which is, what is faith? Now, this is faithful, but it's still faith. And I'm not talking about hope. So make no mistake about it. Hope is a product of anxiety. It's like if you said, I hope I pass this test, or I hope I get my license. And then what happens is it creates anxiety behind it because you don't know if you did it or if you didn't do it. And then you begin to lose sleep. Oh, man, I hope my dad comes. I hope my mom shows up and takes me to the zoo. I don't know if she's been missing out. Nah, you got to know. And faith comes from the word fidir, right? I don't know if I said that right, but the word transliterates as trust. In order for me to trust anything, I must first know it. If I do not know it, then I am a believer. So faith can be assimilated with knowledge. The things that are not immediately, it is knowing the things that are not immediately apparent. Full, this means to be full of something. It can imply a passive or active state of being, like playful or dreadful. Full is a reference to a volume measurement. Amount or volume is the key aspect of this within context. You got to know, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that whatever it is that you see, you can get it done. You see, faith is, if you ever seen a bird land on a branch, its faith is not in the branch, but in what? Its own ability to fly. Telling you got to know that whatever it is that you see, you can get it done. And it's not that you have to go explaining that to anybody. You don't have to go explain your vision to people who may not be able to see your vision, because it wasn't given to them, it was given to you. And a lot of times, some people it's like a giraffe and a turtle. A turtle tries to explain its vision to the giraffe, or a giraffe is trying to explain its vision to a turtle. You got two different views. It's not to say that either one of them are wrong. It's just I don't have the eyes that you have. I can't see that far. So I don't know what is going on. But when you start to share that vision with some small-minded people and they start throwing at you, well, then now what you going to do? You're going to start to doubt yourself. You're going to start to hope that you can get it done. You're going to start to believe that you can get it done. And then it takes you out of faith. Faith is a knowing. You got to know. I mean, if you go plant a seed and you put it underneath the dirt, you don't say, I hope it's doing what it's doing. I know it's doing what it's doing, and I'm just going to keep watering it because I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that it's going to do what it's supposed to do. Then That takes you to your next step, which is the wisdom, which is connected to the feeling. Now, see, this is where it is. What's it gonna feel like when you hit that game-winning shot? What's it gonna feel like when the crowd erupts and you feel the electricity in the building and everybody starts to storm the floor? You see your coach running around with his thumbs up saying, "We did it." And every one of your teammates comes and grabs you and squeezes you harder than the lid on a pickle jar. What's it gonna feel like? What's it gonna feel like when the reporter comes and puts the camera and the microphone right in your face and says, "What does it feel like to be a hero?" What's it gonna feel like? When you're walking about and they say, "Hey, you're the guy who hit the game-winning shot, man. We were so proud. You made this city proud of you." What's it gonna feel like? See, all of that is the quote unquote good things that sometimes people get stuck on. But if we're gonna look at the quote unquote good, we got to look at the quote unquote bad. What's it gonna feel like when you got to get up at 5 a.m. and go to practice? What's it gonna feel like? What's it gonna feel like when you're running wind sprints and you feel that chest start to collapse and you don't know if you can take another breath, and you're standing on the line and you've already run 5 and you got 5 more to go, and you lean that head back just trying to find some air, and then you feel that sweat bead roll down and hit you in the eye and it begins to burn, and then all you hear is a whistle of your coach saying, "Hand down," because you got to run another one. What's it gonna feel like? What's it gonna feel like when you begin to run and that lactic acid begins to build up in your lower thighs and them quads and them hamstrings start to get tight, and then all of a sudden you feel your lower back start to lock, but you see your teammates keep running and you don't want to quit on them, but all you got in your head is just make it end right now because I don't know if I can do it. Then you got to ask yourself, what's it gonna feel like? What's it gonna feel like when all your friends say, "Let's go out, let's go have a good time," but you know you got to get up at 5 a.m. so you know you're not gonna be able to make it? What's it gonna feel like? What's it gonna feel like when your significant other stands up, looks at you in your eyes, and says, "I talk to my friends more than I talk to you. This thing that you said, success or you's gonna make it, is just not coming fast enough." They stand up and they walk out on you. What's it gonna feel like? What's it gonna feel like when the only person that you have to depend on is you? What's it gonna feel like? See, that's when we start to separate people from those who want it and those who are just talking about it, from those who are men to the ones who are just boys, from those who are women to the ones who are just girls. But I'm telling you now, if you have the heart, if you have the will, if you have the drive and the gumption to keep going, when you get hit, that's going to take you to the understanding or the manifestation or the affirmation. If you look at the word itself, affirmation, and you break it down like we have been taught a million times, break the word up. Affirmation, affirmation. You are affirming or strengthening what you already know. It's not that you stand up and then it's just to name it and claim it. It's mine. I want it. We all should be doing things that are life affirming. Again, we all should be doing things that are life affirming. Again, we all should be doing things that are life affirming. And if your movements and your actions don't match your affirmations, then you probably guessed it. It's not going to work. If I stand up here or sit up here and tell y'all, look here, I used to drink, but I am never going to drink. I'm never going to do it again. Call that in my life. But then all of a sudden, I just hang around in stuff, and we hang around in bars with the best Badu. And I just want to hang out. Well, you know what? This gets a better angle at the TV if I sit at the bar and I just surround myself with this. Or if I'm walking in the store and then all of a sudden I just walk down to see what alcoholic beverages are down here, just to see, I used to do that and I used to do that. You probably guessed it. It's not gonna work. Right now I'm just talking, but my actions and my movements don't match my affirmation. You should already be doing it. Already. And if you are already doing it and you're ready to call what it is that you're ready to call in your life and ready to reground, recenter, and refocus, when you wake up in the dawning and then you spring out of bed and you put those 10 toes down on the ground and you dig those heels in and you strut over there to the mirror and you stare deep down in those eyes, going past the physical front, and you see that beautiful soul that's staring right back at you, then you can tell it, I am the great I am, and I am whatever I will myself to be. And then you tell life, bring it. I knew it was going up the mountain, but don't just meet us there. Beat us there. Because you know how we get down, right? I felt it was necessary to circle on back to, so this is how you build an affirmation. This is how we get there. So that therefore it's just not naming it and claiming it and you're trying to do things that, you might run into somebody who says, I am loved, I am powerful. And you talk to somebody and I knew, and they say, how do you know that? Because it says it right here in this book. Nah. It don't work like that. It does not work like that. Take the time to build your affirmation and start to move and grow. All right. That is pretty much all I have for today. I don't know if anybody had anything in the comments. Let me scroll and check it out. But if there is nothing, then I will go ahead and close out. Sister Moonra, recent through rest meditation, usually water is involved, whether a relaxing bath or the beach, scents of lavender or incense assist as well. Roger that. Roger that. He said that in the moment I take a deep breath. I think I read those already. All right, cool. Cool. Come down here. All right. Go ahead and get out of here. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Sabbath. And peace.